The first thing you're going to do today is to find a photo of boxes in the perspective reference photo folder on Schoology. We're going to be drawing this photograph in 2-point perspective. So remember, you're going to have a horizon line, 2 vanishing points, and the right-hand side of every box is going to go to the vanishing point on the right. The left-hand side of every box is going to be going to a vanishing point on the left. You can begin this drawing in your sketchbook. I recommend drawing the, table plane line. Now, just because this line is here, that does not mean that's the horizon line. The horizon line is your eye level. So the horizon line, if we would actually take 2 pieces of paper onto these boxes, see if I can do one that's like where it's gonna end on the screen here. This horizon line, notice how these lines are slowly converging. That vanishing point is gonna be like all the way over here outside of the picture plane. And because it's all the way over here, that horizon line is going to be about the middle of the way, maybe a little bit past the middle of the way where the boxes are. So our horizon line is not really gonna be until about up here, this far above where this bottom plane line is. So just be aware of that whenever you guys are starting. Now, you don't actually have to draw the horizon line in. You don't actually have to draw the vanishing points because they're going to be off of your paper. What I want to see in the drawing is that you're actually following the rules of perspective. So here, the corner of this box should be drawn perfectly perpendicular to this plane of the ground. So just to make this more accurate, I am going to go in and draw a nice straight line here. And then I'll draw the corner of that box with a straight line as well. Any corner of your box should be completely perpendicular with this bottom plane. If it's at a slight angle, the box is going to look weird. Now, these are perspective lines. We know that they're converging to that vanishing point. So I'm going to sight the angle, draw it in, sight this angle, draw that line in. And what I should see is that these lines should be wanting to connect further down off the paper. I'll do the same thing to the left-hand side of this box. Now, the perspective lines on this side of the box is going to be converging to the vanishing point off of the paper again. But notice when I'm drawing them, I'm following the rules of perspective. I'm making sure that these lines look like they're converging. I can measure the proportion of the box. So for instance, I can measure this height and see how many heights create the length of the box. And it's about 1 1/4. So I'll go to my drawing, measure the height, go 1 over, and then 1/4 of that. I know that that box should end here. Once again, this corner of the box should be drawn completely perpendicular to the horizon line. And I'll see how wide out that box should go on the right-hand side. So it's about 3/4 of the height is the length on this side. And I'll use my ruler to mark that in. Once again, making sure that this is completely perpendicular to this bottom plane. Kind of solidify these lines in. Now, I have to draw the top part of this box in. Because this is 2-point perspective, this back corner needs to be drawn to that vanishing point on the right-hand side. Sighting always helps make these lines look a little bit more realistic. Once again, all of these 3 lines should look like they're converging to that point on the right. It's hard to see this angle on the top right-hand side because there's a box that's going to be overlapping it. But I am going to draw that in lightly, and you will see that that line is going to be converging with that vanishing point on the left-hand side. For today's drawing, I want you to finish drawing the rest of the boxes in 2-point perspective and in proportion. You're going to be following the theory of perspective by not actually having vanishing points, but sighting and measuring the proportion of everything in there, making sure you're following that theory of perspective by having all of your perspective lines look like they're converging towards the vanishing points that are ultimately off the ends of your paper. When you're done with your drawing, take a picture of your work and submit it into today's assignment. And please complete this drawing with the 2H pencil, your ruler, and then erase away any lines inside your box with your white Staedtler eraser. Good luck and have fun.